Hey everyone, happy Friday. I wanted to catch you before you headed into the weekend. So it's just about that time. Everyone's closing up shop, ready for a good weekend. And I wanted to share something that the Lord was talking to me about today. And just like you saw in the title, it's really this vital practice that we need to live a peaceful life, to live a healthy life, a balanced life. And really what was on my heart today were the people that just feel overwhelmed. Maybe you feel a bit scattered, that you're just like, you feel pulled in every direction. You feel like you just can't get, your stuff together. Or maybe even you feel like you can't put your finger on it, but you feel like there's something wrong. You feel like there's just something that's not right, and you just feel maybe clogged up emotionally, or just that off feeling, And so because of that, you find yourself maybe in this position of lashing out potentially, or acting in ways that you didn't ever think that you would act. Maybe like you blew up at your spouse or your kids and you're like, I don't know why that happened. I have no idea. But you're in this place today and you really want to go into the weekend feeling refreshed and living in peace all weekend and actually rejuvenating yourself. But I would encourage you with this today, because this message has really helped me to get into that place and to, come back into that place of peace. Because I think we all need that from time to time, where we have these moments that we're kind of going off, we're getting a little bit scattered, we're getting a little bit overwhelmed, feeling a little bit weak, and the Lord brings us back to that place of strength. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Laura Dudek. I'm a Bible study author, Christian speaker, and my entire passion is to help people embrace and own their entire story with Jesus. And a lot of that is through these videos. I have free Bible studies online, free videos at lauradudek.com you can go check out. And I would encourage you that if you know someone who's in this place where maybe you've been texting them today actually, and you're like, I know this person is super overwhelmed and they just feel like they are not heading into the weekend right. If you would tag them in the comments or share this with them on their page, I would really appreciate it, because I feel like the Lord really wants to bless some people in a very practical way today. So I want to share first the scripture that came to me. And it was funny because I was actually in the car driving, and I had this moment this morning where I was just feeling a bit overwhelmed, feeling like I was processing a lot. If you guys missed my videos this week, go check them out. But I share what happened this week over in our world and how I've been processing that and all of it. But it was interesting because this morning I had this moment of a blow up in my car. Just to be honest, where I was just like, I've had enough. I'm just like having a moment here. Lord needs to tap out. And the Lord was talking to me about it, about this idea of really becoming self-aware. And I've talked a lot about that in my videos, but I think that a lot of self-awareness is on us to learn when our barometer is like way out of whack and when we're not okay, or realizing when enough is enough. And maybe we've had too much stress or there's too much going on. And so a lot of our healthy spiritual life, a lot of our life of living in peace is us having a good barometer to know where our equilibrium is at, right? And to know when we're kind of tapped out. And so I'm praying with the Lord about this. And it was interesting because I looked up, obviously because I'm driving, and there was a truck, and on the back of the truck, it said Isaiah 40:31. So naturally, when I'm safe, I read it, and it says, Isaiah 40:28 says, do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. And so I read this verse, obviously, and I'm like, okay, that's exactly where I'm at today. I don't know if anyone else is there. But it was interesting because I'm reading this, and verse 31 says, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. And me being kind of like a Greek word nerd, I love to understand, like, what does that actually mean? Because in the version I read on my phone, it actually said those who trust in the Lord. And so that word here, it says hope, but it actually is also to trust or to wait on the Lord. And understanding that even further in the Greek is that, or the Hebrew that is that it actually is this word to collect or to bind together. And I found that really interesting because in today's culture, we always want to say, like, go collect yourself. You know, how many people have heard that before when you're having like a total meltdown and they're like, you just have to go collect yourself, like get yourself together, like pull it together, you're okay, and then like go back out there and you'll be fine, right? And I started thinking about that phrase that we always just say, like, get yourself together or pull yourself together, you know, especially when we're in a moment of panic or being overwhelmed or anxious, right? We hear that phrase of like, pull yourself together. And I think that often that's misleading because it implies that it's all on us. It implies that we have to muster up all of the strength to keep going because we should be strong enough to handle it, right? Has anyone been there where you're like, I should be able to carry all of this. I should be able to handle all of this. So I just need to muster up more strength, or I need to muster up more time or more energy or drink more coffee to make it happen. And the important part of this verse is that it's saying, those who find strength are the ones who trust in the Lord, who wait on the Lord. It's not just about us to keep going, like to push forward with all of our might to make it happen. It's about us letting it go and releasing it to the Lord. And so there are two words that kept coming to my mind, and it's the word release and collect. And so I think that as in healthy self-awareness and as we walk in a healthy, peaceful life, we have to learn how to release stuff. We have to learn how to manage our emotions and manage our inner woman or our inner man and know when something is off and then release it to the Lord. And so even that idea of collecting, of like, you know, collecting ourselves or pulling ourselves together implies that we are literally falling apart. I don't know if you guys have thought about that before, but it means that you are literally falling apart, that there's nothing in your control, there's nothing in your hands. And so even that is like this symbolic picture of us saying like, okay, I need to actually release this in order to collect it. And so I would encourage us today, like as you're going into this weekend, as maybe you're in this season of going through a lot and you're trying to manage everything and you're trying to, in all of your might, hold on to it to make it work, right? Gritting your teeth to make it happen. I would encourage you to actually release it to the Lord. And that looks totally different for a lot of different people. For me, a lot of it honestly is having a good conversation with a friend that I trust and having that like heart to heart where I can just talk about my feelings. I can talk about the things that are on my mind and then have them listen graciously and then not really give advice, kind of just listen, right? A lot of us, it's journaling. In the car on your way home right now, you could be praying or just putting on worship music and just like literally resting for a moment, waiting on the Lord to give him your stuff and let it go. And then the other part of that is then collecting, right? I wanted to say real quick, in the Bible, in Psalms, it has that word Selah, which happens all throughout the Psalms, where it's like Selah, which actually means to pause and reflect. And so maybe today you need to have a Selah moment where you pause and reflect on where you're at, where maybe you have hit that wall where you're like, enough is enough, and I need to have this moment to let it go. And then just, maybe you need to cry. Maybe you need to just like vent it all out to Jesus, right? Have that moment, have that Selah moment, okay? Then the other part of that is then to collect. That's the word hope. That's that word trust, the word wait, is to collect yourself again. And this isn't saying collect all of the crap that you literally just unloaded, okay? That means that if you had a ton of anxiety at work and you just unloaded it all on Jesus, don't pick it back up. You have the moment there. If you can think of like marbles scattered on the floor, right? If you have them all scattered and you didn't want half of them because half of them maybe weren't that pretty, you pick up the ones that you want. You pick up the ones intentionally that you want to hold on to. And so after you've released it all, pick up the things, gather together the things that are important, the things that will make you stronger. That's what this verse implies, is that those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. So I was thinking about it like a picture of spaghetti. And so if you try to gather up wet noodles, right, it's not strong. It's gonna flop all over. If you try to hold it like a bouquet, it's literally gonna flop, right? That's wet spaghetti. But strong spaghetti, dry spaghetti, right, will hold strong. It's actually firmer. Like if you try to push one strand of spaghetti in your hand, it will snap. But if you have a whole bushel, right? I don't know if that's like the cooking term, but a whole group of them, and you try to push, nothing is gonna break, right? And so that's that picture that we have in our life right now. When you are having that releasing moment, and then you collect the things that make you stronger, and you bind them together, which means maybe you need to ask the Lord for a greater amount of patience. Maybe you need to ask the Lord for a different perspective on the situation at work or the situation at home. And maybe you need to ask the Lord for additional peace or whatever it is. So you gather those things, and those things, the good things, not the wet spaghetti, not the stuff that you don't want, but the good things bound together make you stronger. Then you will renew your strength. This isn't a message of like grit your teeth, keep going, keep pressing forward, it'll all work out. This is maybe you need to literally release the things that are on your heart to then collect again the things that make you stronger and not the weak stuff that's literally holding you back. And so I think that's everything I had to share with you guys, but I would just encourage you to take that moment today. So I hope that blessed you. I'm doing that today. I'm actually gonna go to the gym. Very practically, this is how I do it. I go to the gym. I sometimes just talk to the Lord on the way, or I talk to a friend on the phone, and I just have that clearing of my emotions. I just have that moment to just say, okay, Lord, I'm just letting go of everything that was stressing me out, any work that I had, anything. I'm taking that detox moment for me, even if it's only a short amount of time, to just take this moment to then collect my strength, to collect my patience, to collect some good endorphins from the gym, and then go into a weekend to relax and to find, that good amount of peace that I can go forward. And so I hope this blessed you. If it did, I would encourage you to tag a friend or share it on your page. That's the only way these messages get out. And if you're curious about what I went through this week, you guys can check out my other videos. There are 2 from this week. You'll find them in the feed. So I love you guys so much. I hope this blessed you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.